All right, with that in mind, and you guys have a sense of what you're going to be doing in terms of incrementals, and we've added on the additional icon relationships that you get at champion at 5th level, then we're going to kind of get to where we are, and I'm going to go through where you are physically, and then I'm going to talk briefly about what is on the table for you guys, and you guys can figure out what you want to do. So where we left off last time, you guys had arrived at the Sorcerer Towers at Merthrope. You had investigated, found some things weird were going on. That was a couple sessions ago. Last session, you were actually in the tower with the High Wizard Crowsworn Palak. There was some suspicion of his motives, but he did provide you with a significant amount of information. And you got some other details about things that you had encountered before. And I'll go back to what those are later. He provided you, Sherry, with the box to contain the draconic gems. And actually, Scott, I had forgotten to do this on my notes, but I didn't have a chance to. He would have given you a cover such that that boat item doesn't count against your magic item allotment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Since those are sort of non-combat items, that's how that's going to work for those. In any case, of course, then mysteriously, for no reason that any of you have any idea, somehow the wards got broken, and apparently forces that you have the sense came from the Siren, since they were similar to her typical agents, busted into the lab. Even as Palak was struck and had his heart ripped out of him and transported elsewhere. They seem to be raiding into the lab. You have the sense that perhaps they were trying to find items or something there, but that's still an open question about what they were looking for. At the same time, another group of the Sirens agents raided the vault and made off with various treasures and magic items from there.
It was the Siren that raided that?
Well,
the vault?
It could have been. That's as good a thing as any. Could be the Siren. I mean, would make that sense. Why would anybody else have done it?
Well, because usually they're kind of blind and clearly incompetent, as we saw with this other group.
Maybe that was a
That was the dumb group.
Yeah.
A diversionary group?
Diversionary tactic.
Yeah, with the freaking Medusa.
Yes.
Incompetent.
In any case, the tower, again, remind you, was formerly a school of magic, a school of wizardry that had been abandoned. Palak had taken it over some time ago. He had made it his own. Apparently it had, for a time, other people here, including his wife. His wife apparently had killed herself at some point some years ago. You saw that Palak's servants seemed to be made up entirely of these sort of aerial servants, invisible stalkers, and certainly when Palak dropped, nearly all of those went away.
Okay.
Except for the figure in armor, the one we decided to call Prime, of the air servants, who essentially came to you and handed you the keys to the tower and to the school.
We got a fortress. We got a fortress. Oh, sorry.
Sherry?
Yes.
So let me talk about the various items that you got from Palak, the gems and these keys, and what exactly they do, so you guys know what you have. They all together are considered one item. They effectively can be put together. So in terms of that, Sherry, they are a single item with a couple of purposes. Does that seem reasonable?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So the keys themselves, they actually will open the various doors and gates around the facility. They're clearly magicked, and most of the locks around here are magic, but they will open all of those doors. It'll open the main gates and so on. They also would be normally used for the vault, but the vault has already been opened.
Just gonna keep rubbing that in, aren't you?
Importantly, they also command the wards.
Ah.
Okay, so the wards have restored and are back and intact, and you have the keys that control those. Now, you have enough magical knowledge to know that will last for a few years before something will have to be done to reinforce those. Number 2, you have a gem that operates within the school. That what it does is essentially, when you use it, you can call everybody in the school back to you, meaning your allies. And technically, it just means this group of people that you're with right now, because essentially what Palak did is Palak set everyone here as peers of the school, such that that device could call them to one place.
Okay.
Just for how long? How much does it take to get somebody to be known as a peer?
Quite a bit.
Okay, that's fine. That's what I needed to know.
Yeah, it only operates in the school, and it seems to be just keyed to U5 for the moment.
Okay.
The last. Yes, go on.
Okay.
Yes, you have a question.
Previously, it would have been used for essentially pulling together like a set of school administrators for, in case of a thing of they needed to do a
emergency meetings or rapid defense, things like that. It would have been used by different departments within the school.
All right.
But as he mentioned, these were sort of the last of these things that he had.
Because he hadn't kept them up since he hadn't much need of them.
Yes.
Okay.
The last thing...
Which suggests, though, that there are other ones that aren't powered up that could be over time.
That it is what that suggests.
Okay, so I have to look for the gems.
The last thing is the Tefrim stone. And what that allows you to do is, if you are out...
Tefron?
The Tefrim. Tefrim stone. The Tefrim stone allows you, if you are out in the broader world, to activate that to transport you and your comrades who are close by. That's important. Can't be separated. To transport back to the Great Hall of the school. And that works across any distance. The item itself does require recharging, so it can't be done, immediately. But one of the other things that can be done with it is you can use it to actually transport up to about a dozen willing people to the school itself. So if you were out in the world and there were people that you wanted to send back here that wanted to come back here, you could activate that and send them on without sending yourselves.
And that requires some recharge too?
Yeah, there's some. You can't just keep doing it. If you do that, it will take a bit before you can use it again to jump.
Oh, so it's just time.
Yes.
Okay.
So with the stone, everything is about time there.
Requires some ritual of acceptance, or what's the mechanism for agreeing that they want to come back?
They have to be willing to accept the force of the enchantment. Essentially, if they don't want to come, they're not going to be moved by it.
What if they are not conscious?
It will still kind of check against that.
Okay, so us are okay. Okay.
The other important thing that you know about these stones, which isn't something that Palak mentioned to you, but these are important. These are big, potent things.
Right, okay.
Because they have vast transportational ability. Other thing is these were typically used by the highest echelons of people. A rare item used by high royalty or things like that, or the high wizards in these places. And one of the things that you can do is, when you go to a significant place, like a city a chantry, a mage's tower, you can actually attune that place to your Tefram stone. And at that point, you could, for example, return back to the school and then use the Tefram stone to actually return to the place that you had attuned to.
Ah, a third. So to a third, I'm going to say high
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, some places will have those attunements in place. You just have to find them and match the stone to those. At this point, the stone can hold up to 2 of those locations. There's no location recorded in it currently.
Okay. So, like when we go to the Great Shark, we could, if
Yeah, exactly.
like in the city there, we could attune in there and then just go visit the
If
shark gut
such
anytime we wanted
enchantments
to.
work inside the thing, that is a whole nother question.
A fine question. Okay.
Prime
Possibilities boggle the mind.
Prime will, in his halting way, explain to you that he is bound to the school, that the other servants are gone, and this is done in kind of slow. He's clearly kind of recovering from what occurred. There are some automations, magical automations on the school that he will be activating to assist with the upkeep. And he will see if he can recall any of the servants, but that may take quite a bit of time.
Okay. Let's see here. Well, I took my point in magical investment.
Okay.
Just so down the line, at least I can be useful.
Sure.
But I will check to see if there's anything that I can set going or that sort of thing.
Why don't you roll me a D20 plus intelligence plus magical investment, Sherry?
All right. So, sorry.
Sure.
Do I get to add twice my intelligence skill?
No.
I'll be right back.
Oh, that would have been awesome. Okay, so... And that's plus my level, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Hey, it's rebooting.
25.
So one of the things that you definitely want to do is, and you'll figure out about how to get more of the automation, is the area that has essentially the menagerie. Because the school does have, essentially, there are farm animals and feed animals and other animals who are there that require milking, that require cleaning, all of those kinds of things that would have been done by the air servants, that you will figure out how to get other mechanicians and magical devices in that area up and working such that they can take care of those animals.
Okay.
Does that seem reasonable?
That seems more than reasonable. I'd rather not lose them. That would be
Okay.
sort of horrible.
All right. Carl, you back? Okay. When Carl gets back, I'm going to go through essentially the outstanding plot points, just so we have them on the table, and then I'm going to ask you guys what you guys are doing. All right?
All right.
How's your mom doing, Scott?
Oh, she's sore, but she's okay.
Good.
She seemed to come out of it.
Good.
Okay.
It was outpatient?
Yeah,
Okay.
couple hours. Yeah, I don't like the wind. Alright, I should be getting back in.
Back.
All right. So let me quickly go through what are the kind of outstanding plot points locally and globally that you guys have on your plate. And we can figure out what you guys want to do. All right? So locally, obviously, figuring out what's going on with the school, figuring out what you want to do with it, all of that, research. This is a whole open question here, right? So that's one of the local things. 2 is Carl's discovery of the sort of the Crowsworn Pirate conspiracy going on in the city and on the broader island, and if there's anything you want to do or interact with for that.
Hello.
Hey Ben, how you doing?
Not so good.
What's wrong?
Are you sick?
Yeah, kind of cold.
Oh, yeah. Sure, and I had that. It was super productive.
Yeah, in the worst way.
Yeah.
It was very plaguey.
Yes.
Much akin to Matt.
Right.
Yeah.
So dealing with the school in all the broad terms about that. Number 2, dealing with the Crowsworn Pirate people. And number 3, dealing with the people, the false Empress people that you think might be associated with the Siren that are in town. You don't know what their relationship to what happened here is.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the 3 things locally.
Okay.
Now globally, the big...
Group-wise, you're saying?
Yes, group-wise. There's still some individual stuff there, but that's group-wise.
Okay.
Does that seem reasonable, Scott?
Yes.
Okay. Big picture stuff is the torrent stall that you guys wanted to go there, that you know that's part of the process that you need to go through on this quest. And in order to do that, you have the maps and the materials and things like that from Palak. But in order to actually get in there, you're going to need to speak with that mage who is at last report at Nautilus. All right, so that's number 1. Number 2 is that you got the location of the next sort of dungeon that moves in and out of the world, a place called Landark, and you got essentially the island location where that is. And then number 3, you were given the name of a survivor who made it out of the great old shark, a guy named Captain Alejandro. So I'm going to switch to the...
We also have the Storm Cross, or the Princess Cross, what is it?
Dungeon.
Oh yeah,
but that's a long time ago. Storm Toss Cliffs.
Yeah. So let me show you where those 4 things are on the map. I'm going to pull that up for you guys. So I've pulled that up. If we look here on the map, let's start...
There it is, Star Princess Cliff.
Yes. If we start with the Nautilus, you'll see that Nautilus is where I'm pinging with the red there.
And Nautilus is where our survivor is.
Captain Alejandro.
Nope, that's where the mage is.
That's where the mage is.
The mage
is
for the torrent stall.
Yeah. This is where you guys are.
Okay, Mirthrope.
Mirthrope. I'm going to scroll down. Down here in this area, at the very bottom in the ice-clad sea, is where Captain Alejandro is.
Why is he down there?
You're not sure.
What is the significance of Captain Alejandro again?
He is one of apparently a survivor who managed to make it out of the giant shark that swallows cities.
And that's one of the 3 places we're supposed to go to for the
third of the ancient places.
Third of the ancient places who blah blah hope to have them.
Your keen understanding of this situation is most heartening.
Oh, you're welcome,
And then lastly, the place that is Landark. I'm going over here by Razarak, up to the sort of the middle and left-hand side there. That's
so
where...
it's not at Voslan Dock. It's up at Razarak.
Yeah.
That was tricky.
Okay. So those are the places where that's at. In fact, I'm just going to kind of...
Show me where the Captain Alejandro is.
Sure. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to freehand and I'm going to draw. So Captain Alexander, I'm going to put an X down there for Captain Alexander. Put an X on the map over there for Razarak. I'm going to circle Merthrope where you're at. I'm going to put an X on Nautilus. And then up top is where Star Princess Cliff is.
Why can't I zoom this dumb thing? What the heck?
It's a little sidebar-y thing off to the...
I know where it is. It's just not
It's
like
not-
when I click on the magnifying glass and I try to click on the 50%. As soon as I click on the 50%, it jumps back, so it doesn't let me actually click
You
on
gotta
it.
Don't
click
use
on-
the hourglass. Go over to the upper right corner. There's
It's
a
a slider.
scroll bar,
Yeah.
a slider.
See if
Oh,
that
so
works
there.
better for you.
Where is that?
If you-
Upper right corner.
Ah,
yeah, try that and see if that works better for you.
fantastic. That's beautiful. Thank you, Scott.
Okay. So that gives you guys where those positions are. So we take up in the school, Palak's body is
Oh, sorry. What's the thing at the Nautilus? What's that?
Nautilus is where the guy who has the final key you need to get into the torrent stall is at.
Oh, okay. I see. Gotcha. And what about Illyrian, the island where the dudes who hired the guy that killed Lady Nasune? Are we done with that?
That is has not been followed up on. So
Oh, that's still also an open
Yeah.
thing.
it's still an
And
open
the
thing,
star.
but I assumed you tabled that for the moment.
And the Star Princess Cliffs, that's also tabled too, right? I guess.
Yeah, well,
it's a dungeon you guys could go to.
Well, so is
But it-
Land Dark, right?
Well, Landark has something
Is-
directly and that we're actually looking for, whereas the Starcross Cliffs is a complete aside, as far as we know.
Right. The short version of this is, you know that, and this is sort of I'm summarizing what you've been told from Grandfather Turtle. The Titan is wounded. The only way to heal the Titan is to bring back the Empress. The only way to bring back the Empress is through things that you will find at each of these 3 ancient ruins. And that's essentially the information that you have.
And the ruins are the torrent stall, whatever's inside the shark, and
Landark.
Landarsk. So clearly, what was in the torrent stall is still, they didn't get it. The other expedition didn't get that. It's still there, as far as we know.
That's the implication, yes. So, do you guys want to talk about what you want to do? Do you want to?
Well,
local,
we're here.
global? Yes.
So I'm thinking that we should, and the Siren, we think at least, attempted to kill this guy, and I think we all pretty much oppose Oblivion, so we oppose the Siren.
Yes.
So they've got something going on here, some kind of group. We should probably, I'm thinking we deal with them. The Crowsworn Pirate stuff would be interesting, but I don't think that really makes much difference. So, at least, it could be just a smuggling operation or something like that. I mean, to me,
Well, I'd hate to leave something significant behind.
well, that's fine. We can go check it out. It's not that big of a deal. But I mean, from what I know of the Crowsworn Pirate and pirating in general, this is not that big of a deal. He's just, he's smuggling, he's hiding, he's doing something. It's not like it's not something that would particularly stand out. Or is that incorrect?
It's a lot of effort here,
Okay.
but you haven't seen any sign of things that make you, because the people that you've seen in town are like older retirees and things like that. There's kind of mixed messages that you're getting there.
Okay.
However,
And
if it's
what's-
going to be our base, we may need to be, because Palanka's just left things, we may need to be a little bit more assertive.
That's fine.
So,
And once
I agree
everyone
with the
is
wizard. An inquisition is called for.
Wait,
you
what?
can count on you.
said,
Burn the witch! Oh, sorry.
Go on.
Scott, you were
and
saying?
once everyone is together, I mean, I will tell them what happened in what was her name?
Faylene?
what-
Lady Faylene?
Lady Faylene's room, since it has to do with obviously I make the connection that it had something to do with what happened. So
So why don't you tell me, Scott, exactly what you tell your comrades?
I'll tell them basically that in exchange for services, I was asked by an agent friend of mine to look up some information in a book. And when I went to the library, I found that the book was not in the library and in the possession of, or was in the possession of Lady Faylene, which seemed to be a bit of a tricky subject. The Prime had said not to mention her, but he found the book in her room, and when I went to her room, I found that her bed had been blood-stained, and it appeared that she had killed herself.
Okay.
And I found the book, and when I opened the book, I heard a voice I presume was heard that said that she was sorry. She apologized to Palak, and that's then a moment afterwards I appeared in the room with the rest of you. So I'm assuming that something that she perhaps had some involvement with the siren, or there was something done there a long time ago that
So you just opened the book and you heard her say that, or did something else happen? Did you?
I opened the book and got what information that that I was looking for, and
Which was what?
it was just a random bit of text in the
Which
book.
was?
Lowell never gave it.
I thought he did.
No. It was just. I
No.
didn't give him. It was just a particular phrase of poetry.
It was just a spell trigger.
Yeah. Okay.
It was just a spell trigger.
Didn't you say I'm sorry or something like that?
That's
That was
the voice.
her voice. That's what I just said.
Oh, the voice. What did the voice say?
She said, "I'm sorry, Palak."
Oh, okay.
Okay, so essentially a spell trigger was planted in that book.
Yes.
That's what it sounds like. Okay. And then she committed suicide after she planted the book or planted the trigger in the book. Can we see the book to see maybe where it came from?
Certainly, we can go back to her room and you can examine the whole thing.
Before you go, did we ever find? Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Did we ever find the heart?
No.
Okay, so we have no idea where that is.
Correct.
No,
Is that
you did find the black rock. We know about the black rock that was put in place of his heart, right?
Mhm. Yes.
Does that give us any sense?
Well, right now that's probably still in him,
Okay.
and in the thing. You expect there's probably some kind of prepared spell
Right.
weapon.
Exactly. That was why I was hoping that maybe it would give us something to track them by.
What you guys will find if you look at the book is, and this is for you, Sherry. Let me actually have you make a roll based on your student and your intelligence,
Okay.
just so I can see you roll a 1 and I can give you the most minimal amount of information.
I know.
It's a book in a library. Owned by the lady.
25.
So now that the trigger has been tripped, it's pretty obvious that somebody had spent some time within the school, working at something to bring down the wards for a very short time. And this was clearly a trigger, essentially the reading of those words, since your eyes passing over the page, activated the trigger, and it was very carefully concealed. You expect that before the trigger went off, nobody would have noticed anything unusual about the book.
Okay.
So who asked you to do this?
Who asked me to do this?
Yeah.
An agent of the Prince of Shadows.
Bum.
All right. Never one of the good guys.
Huh?
Okay.
Should we search the place for his heart? Because I don't know. I mean, how long can he stay in your gem thingy or whatever it is?
As long as he cares to, and since he's not going to come conscious because he's held in stasis, it's the necklace is made so he can stay in there as long as I will him to.
Is that? Can you put somebody else in there in case one of us gets hurt?
No.
Okay, so it would be nice to get him, fix him some way.
Sure.
In your opinion, is it with this what you know here?
Sorry.
Should the heart be transported close by? Is this rock? Can we get some idea about this? Well, we don't have. We got to bring him out to get the rock, and he'll probably die real quick.
Well, let's say this. Let me make you guys an offer here. If you want to attempt to move him out, and you have a lot of magical resources, you have.
I'll be right back. I haven't had dinner yet.
Oh yeah, please go ahead. You have Tomaso's clerical abilities plus Coshanael's knowledge of the magics here. If you guys can make decent rolls, I'll essentially let you find some other method here to essentially put him into stasis within the school. Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah, that's fine.
And perhaps locked in the vault so that nobody can get at him or anything?
Yeah, definitely. The vault.
Except for whoever got into it before, right?
Right.
Okay.
So, Matt, what is your appropriate skill you think for your sort of the healing?
I'd say hospitaler.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah.
That's just, it covers like a good mix of clerical magic and actual kind of medieval surgery knowledge.
All right. Why don't you make a roll for me?
Awesome. Leeches are what are called for now.
You can add a wisdom or intelligence.
So it's plus the skill, plus the ability, plus the level, right?
And Sherry, the same for you with the student. Oh, nice.
Very nice. Let's see here.
And now Sherry will roll a 1.
I know. You have no idea.
Okay.
Ugh.
So you guys will get it set up. Matt, there are some things that you recognize as having healing properties. You will get that set. Sherry will prepare the magical stuff. You guys will kind of do this as a ritual. You will bring Palak out, and you won't really have a chance to do anything with the stone to kind of check it, but you will get him safely ensconced so that he is in stasis, protected, and you guys can essentially put him somewhere for safekeeping here within the school.
Is there anything that I could do with the traps to reconfigure them so that whoever broke in before would have a more difficult time getting back in?
Absolutely. Why don't you make that? You mean Rook?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm messing that.
Yeah, Scott. Why don't you make that traps plus intelligence roll? Ooh, look at that. So Scott,
Ooh, that's good.
one of the things you have the sense is that when the wards went down, the magical protections that were on the vault went down as well, because they were all keyed in together. And so whoever came in and did this, did a mundane break in to the vault itself. So you're pretty sure that you can set more traps and redo the tumblers and increase the difficulty here, since the sorcerers were more concentrating on magical protections. You will up the mundane protections. Does that seem good?
Seems reasonable.
Okay.
And also, can I tell, was it a single person or was it a group of
It was
people?
definitely a group of people, of well-trained thieves.
Okay.
The sort of people that hang out with the siren.
Not so much.
Okay.
All right, so Palak is safe. You have the sense that the heart isn't here present.
Okay, it's further away.
It could be it could be quite far away.
Ah, God. All right.
So is this spell, would this have been something that could have been done to Palak without his knowledge? How would this have been done without him being aware?
When you say this, what this are you talking about?
Replacing his heart with
no,
this
no,
rock.
that was an attack that was
No.
done when the wards were taken down.
So someone did an attack on him from
From a ways away.
not even okay.
Yeah.
So that's, from my understanding, then powerful.
It was probably a highly prepared ritual spell, possibly combined with magic item. I mean, this had clearly been planned to take Cthock out.
Do
Not
we
Cthock,
have
but,
a
Palak.
list? Can we look around in here? Can we find a list of staff who used to work here, especially relatively recently? Well, when did she die? When did
10 years ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
So
Years ago.
Yeah, so I mean, is there a list of the last staff who was here, especially a couple years ago?
You'll ask Prime, and he will say the last time that there were human staff here was 15, 16 years ago.
So was anybody here around the time that Lady Faline died?
No, it was only her and ourselves and Palak.
Was she a wizard?
Yes.
Do you know of anybody who could have forced her to do this?
And he will look, and he will, you have the sense that for him, this is a question he has no...
Who did she have? Did she have significant interactions with anybody else that you know of?
And he will say, "My lord, I am but a servant, and I carry out my duties here. I don't understand these things."
Okay. Did she interact with other people here?
No, not that I knew of. She went into the town from time to time.
There we go.
How about
How often did she go into town?
Irregular, my lord. Every month, every 2 months, it depended. Less so towards the end.
Was she involved in her own magical preparation, magical experimentation, magical things?
I assume she was involved in her own magical things.
Well, she was doing magical things, research. She wasn't just eating bonbons.
My lord,
Was she greasing the pole?
how about
She had no pole to grease. That is correct.
I think it would probably be a better idea to search her room and her laboratory area to see if we can find if we want to go there, see if we can find any information.
Okay.
I mean, a journal. If I were her, and if she was truly being, she apologized. So I'm assuming that she felt some remorse for what she had done. If she was being coerced, and she was intelligent, she probably, or at least I'm hoping, that she left some clue or something that someone would be able to undo what she had done without her tormentors knowing it. So the best chance for that would be to search here.
Certainly, this is a big place. That's going to take a while to do.
Well, she's got her quarters.
Quarters, and they're all the different labs, and they're all the different buildings. Anything?
Well, I mean, her quarters
Sure.
by itself.
Sure.
I mean, if you think that, I mean, I don't know what kind of time that's going to take versus dealing with the siren situation.
Well, we could do,
Probably dovetails with it because the siren was probably had some influence on her.
what I'm thinking is that there's two things. We've got this stuff, which I'm going to be pretty useless at, to find out
I'm back.
that you
Okay.
have. Then and you might be good at it, maybe, and what's his name? Tomaso might be good at it, maybe. And then somebody could go check out the Crowsworn Pirate stuff, which would involve some more of sneaking around and some stealth, and so we can kind of figure out what's going on there. We could do this too at the same time. Or we could deal with this siren stuff in town. Actually, what's the timing for that?
I think we should go after the stuff that like saves the world. It seems like the biggest.
Well, all three of those things might be
Potentially earth-shattering.
Well, I mean, the Crowsworn Pirate thing very easily is not, but it's here. It's easy to do, and it might have some. It might be related. We don't know.
Yeah,
This
and
is
also
what
the
I'll
other
say
things seem like months and months of travel. Sorry.
Yeah, and all I was going to say is that if the Crowsworn Pirate is gathering resources, we might be able to use those ourselves.
Sure.
Like essentially, this used to be fine shipbuilding lumber. Maybe they've got a cove full of a nice fleet of ships that we could take advantage of.
Okay, so Carl, let me kind of piggyback on what you just said. So you think a couple people want to go and check on what's going on with the pirate? You think a couple?
We could. This is something.
If you were going to split up, you would have a couple people go and look into the pirate thing. A couple people.
Actually, I was thinking 3 people work. I mean, I don't know anything about the siren thing. I was thinking 3 people go with the pirate, 3 people go with the searching, and unless we wanted to put the siren stuff in there, I don't really know anything about that.
Okay.
What's your opinion, Sherry, on the siren stuff?
Well, we know that they said that there was going to be a little initiation in a few days, so I assume that that's a couple days from now.
Right.
And probably some sort of awful hijinks if this was any indication. So, I mean, and since we know that the siren had been aiming and it had powerful magic, ritual magics set to go at any moment for the wards dropping here, I wouldn't be surprised if it was some other sort of assault upon the resources of Palak.
Mm.
Or really, they're going to try to destroy the world, so it doesn't matter. We could just go murder them all.
Okay. We are murder hobos.
So what I'm understanding then is a couple people are going to do a quick check to try and figure out what's going on with the pirate. A couple people are going to check and see what's going on with the siren people and the town. Mm-hmm. Okay. And
Wait, okay.
The siren cannot be allowed to persist. I've seen corruption unspeakable here. We will not allow any more to take root.
You've seen, this is like the first we've heard of this, right? We all go, what? What are you talking about, Tomaso?
I encountered an agent of the New Gods, but I dispatched him.
That seems sensible. The first sensible thing I've heard all afternoon. So,
Okay.
In any event, this business with the rituals and initiations, this cannot stand.
okay. All
Well,
right.
Siren's one of the old guys, isn't she? Kind of.
she's one of the icons,
Icon.
Yeah, right. I mean, icon. So she's.
not one of the gods.
I know, but old. Okay, I don't know.
Right. No.
Well, if you want me to go peek around in town, I will certainly.
Yeah. How about we'll.
Well, Coshanael, do you wish to? I mean, is this a good avenue to go search through her stuff?
It might be if we could figure out who was it that set her to it. Like,
Okay.
was she an agent of the Prince of Shadows, or
It
was
might
she?
be- I mean, I'm not that well. I'm not. I've got Crowsworn connections and stuff like that, and so I might be able to help there. But my guess is Cthock is actually better than that. Or Rook. I'm sorry, Rook is better. Rook is better than I am. Cthock should definitely be the one doing the recon out in the whatever in the hinterlands. I can go with him there.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to be useless in the castle looking for magic crap.
Okay.
So Cthock and Black Dog, you're talking about going and reconning and checking what's going on with what the Crowsworn Pirate people are up to, doing a quick jaunt
Sure.
out to check on that.
Right.
And
We
then,
would like to do a quick search here to see if we can find anything that's the least bit obvious,
Okay.
or at least since we kind of know what we're looking for, is to go, why was Faylene doing this? Was she like a plant from the get-go? Can we tell whether it was Princess Shadows or whether it was Siren that
Okay.
had this all set up?
so Coshanael, you
you
wanna search the school,
Yes.
and Scott and Tomaso, you're checking in town. Is that my understanding?
Yeah.
Okay.
We will see what these. What, are we looking into the New God thing or the Siren thing, or do we think they're?
Oh, Tomaso, all corruption is intertwined. But I have that item from the altar that detects new god activity.
Yes.
So that's something I want to kind of play prominently into our investigation of whatever cultish activity is going on here. That to suss out whether there's any relationship.
Sure. Absolutely.
Sounds good to me.
All right. So let's break that up into these things. Ben, you're back, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, on mute to eat.
Sure. So Scott, Carl, Ben, you guys will gather yourselves up, gather some supplies. The school is up higher on these cliffs, so it's a little bit easier for you to get up and out, and you'll kind of travel out. Again, remember that the city itself is kind of in
You went
a
back.
sure in a valley of sorts. Come back here, kind of. Whoop! I didn't mean to do that. Control Z. Clear drawings. Yeah. So go to that and pick this up. So pull that forward. Cancel. So you guys will make your way up the cliffs, over, and then down, kind of following the trail. So Ben, why don't you make a recon roll? So recon plus wisdom.
Okay. 1 plus wisdom 2 6. Okay. Roll 20 plus 3 plus 3. 23.
Okay. And Carl, why don't you make a? Is your wisdom bonus a -2?
Nope, it's 0.
Ben?
Oh, I'm back.
Mine is plus 3.
Okay. What is your wisdom?
My wisdom value is 9.
The 9.
Oh, plus 3. Plus 3 for the level, I guess.
Yeah, okay, I just want to make sure on that. Okay. So, Carl, why don't you make pirate plus con as your roll?
Con.
Yeah.
Kind of survival and outdoors and
God.
So just don't roll one, Carl.
Woohoo!
So you guys will go kind of heading through the woods. One of the things out is that they mentioned that they send groups of people out from town, workers and things like that, come back and forth. And so it isn't particularly hard to kind of pick up their trail and follow it back. And you guys will move significantly faster than a group of people would. And you kind of break through, and after a number of hours of traipsing through here, you take some rest, you move on further, it gets on a little on dusk, you'll hit a fork, and going down one way, you will see that one of the two paths seems to go into effectively a logging camp. Mm-hmm. And you will see that there are probably 36 or more workers here. taking down lumber, cleaning it, and so on. It's a pretty well set up operation, and they're clearly harvesting lumber, and then they've got a creek and some rollers, and they're then sending that wood clearly to a shoreline area.
Now, from what they're doing here, I can only assume that they're building ships.
That would be your guess. And you guessed...
Or tree forts. Maybe tree forts
Yes.
are the new...
I think that's right. That's probably that's good.
Everyone
good call.
likes a good tree fort.
Yeah. Who wouldn't want a tree fort?
And you guess that that's probably what's at the end of the other end of the fork. Do you guys want to return, or do you guys want to press on and check that out?
How much longer is that going to take?
Well, it'd probably take a couple more hours.
We can go on. Might
Okay.
as well, we're out here.
All right. This time I'm going to have you guys both make stealth rolls. So
Luckily, I just got thief.
dexterity plus any kind of skill that you think is appropriate towards moving quietly or sneaking around. Dexterity plus level, obviously.
I mean, me too.
Yep, you too. What's your
And
background?
using can I use I guess recon?
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Using my dex bonus, right?
Yep.
13, that's a respectable roll. I have a 20.
This is how you do it, buddy.
So you guys will move quietly. It is under cover of night. There's a little bit of moonlight showing, stars down, and you will come out onto the shoreline onto a fairly well built up area. Carl, you're a pirate. You're familiar with these. It's very much a shipwright place. You guess it must have been a place for doing this kind of shipbuilding before the collapse, and that was abandoned, and the Crowsworn Pirate has essentially taken it over. It's far enough out in the boondocks that nobody will necessarily come upon it. It's pretty well hidden. But they have a couple of ships that are being repaired, and a couple of ships that are in the water, and at least 3 other ships, good-sized ones, under construction.
Okay, so are these like the normal size pirate ships, or are they bigger?
They are good-sized war galleys.
Okay, so probably bigger than what normal pirate ships are.
Yeah, they're building some serious armament here.
Okay.
There are guards, and it does look like they definitely kind of keep the lights dim at night so that you know they aren't seen. But there's, you would guess just by looking at this, looking down there, that there's probably skilled workmen that they brought in, Crowsworn Pirate laborers, and judging by the chains, you would guess probably a good supply of slaves, prisoners captured by the pirate, put to work here.
Okay.
And yeah, do you guys want to do anything else there, or head back?
Kill them all, Carl. Kill them all.
Hey, I'm conflicted. I'm not stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, for you, the pirate isn't that bad.
You know, I don't really like this slaving, but you know, it ain't me.
Yeah.
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. So head back. Or,
Probably pretty much.
What's the other
I
part?
mean, I will.
That's
I mean,
not
I'll
pretty
take.
much.
I'll take a, just a really good look around to get an idea. You know, I'm thinking of, is the island? I mean, it sounds like these are small islands. They're probably, I don't see sheep or I don't see herds, so most likely they're being supplied by other ships.
Yeah,
and
it does
things
look like
that.
they've got probably. Well, they've got. It looks like they've been supplied by ships, and they're also getting some trade through the city, and so on. It does look like they have. You will note some sea dogs, sea
Arr.
wolves,
Of course they do.
chained up.
Chained up.
Yeah, and I've seen lots of that shit all over the place.
Looks like they use those beasts to haul the ships. They've got them in great sort of gangs to pull them along.
Like how many? How many gangs?
Probably 2 gangs, so there's maybe a dozen of them, dozen and a half. The wargs.
They do tiny crits, don't they?
No, they're bigger than that.
And they're okay. I estimate if I released those wargs, how much would it slow them down?
That would kind of put. There are 2 groups of them in different areas. Taking out one of them would slow them down. Taking out both would put a real pinch for them.
Mm-hmm.
But it does look like they are real chained up.
Chained.
Oh yeah.
But they're in the water.
Well,
Chains
yes.
in the water.
Oh yeah. And then they actually have winders to pull them back to shore.
Well, the chains in the water, and my guess is it's not magical steel. And what's my estimation of how rusty that chain's going to be?
Not very rusty. Rust takes a while, sir.
Mm. Well, it's because it's thick.
Yeah. Has to be to hold the wargs in.
Okay, what's my chances of? Well, they've got locks on them. Where are the locks? Where are the locks? Locks are going to be on. Well,
So it looks like each warg probably has sort of 3 bracers that they're connected to. Essentially, a main harness, another secondary back harness, and then the muzzle. So there are locks on each of those.
for each warg.
Yeah.
So I'd have to pick them forever.
Or snap them.
I mean, am I strong enough to snap those?
You don't know. You have to get up. Have to go
Well, I mean,
up.
I've got an idea how strong I am, and I've seen chains like that before. I mean, you know, if it's
Okay. Let's have you. What's your strength?
it's 17.
Okay.
So +3.
With the right lever, it'd probably take me about a minute to pop one of those off.
And there's 24 of them.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Less than a half hour's work.
That's a lot of exposure time.
Yeah, it is.
But I would assume that the guards are being very lazy.
Well, they are pirates.
Well, let's see, Carl.
There's nothing going on here.
Is there a reason the sea lions wouldn't look at you like a delicious, tasty orc snack?
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons for that.
They are.
Are you like king of the sea lions?
They're sea wargs. They're not sea lions.
Sea wargs.
So yeah, no, they're not on the highest alert at all, Carl.
Okay. Okay, why don't you do this? I'll try and think about what I'm going to do. Why don't you go to another group?
Sure,
and I'll
absolutely.
kind of figure this out. I'll work out with Cthock what we can do.
Okay. And Cthock, you will see him as he's looking. Okay, looks like they've got pirates working here. It looks like they got slaves. Oh wait, looks like that's sea wargs. And that seems to set Black Dog off.
Now it's personal.
Sea wargs. Okay.
Yes, they are essentially like wargs from The Hobbit, but they're aquatic. You know that orcs ride them as war beasts for sea ratings. All right.
You said they're chained to the.
Yeah,
dock or something?
there are 2 groups of them that are chained together in 2 separate places. There used to be they get attached to things to pull them out. They're used as.
And he wants to let him go, I guess.
That's your impression. That he's looking at how to do that.
Okay.
Okay. Shall we go to the people in town then? Scott, Tomaso, does that seem reasonable?
It works for me.
I assume you guys are kind of each taking a slightly different tact.
Probably because I suspect Scott wants to pursue a stealthy approach, Well, in Tomaso's mind, there are rules for these things. An inquisition begins with a formal declaration.
Fuck. Fuck.
Well, why don't I start with Scott then?
Nice.
Scott,
I love
All
you,
right.
Matt.
Before we
what do you want to?
before we get to town, you said that Palak's this place is on sort of a cliff-like area.
There's a it's up on more on the hillside. It's not exactly a cliff. Essentially, if you look at the illustration there, you go back to sort of the hillside, and the tower is up a little ways on that.
Okay. Is there walking down? Is there a cliff on the way to the town?
There are some cliffs, yeah, but none that overhang the town itself.
I'm looking for one that overhangs the ocean.
Yeah, you can.
Or the water.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I will stop by on the way to town at that cliff, and I will take the dagger that I got from the Prince of Shadows. And I will chuck it into the sea.
Oh my gosh. The one that you got replaced?
Well, since that's the only one I have left now.
Okay. So which one are you throwing away then? What's the
Do I still have the Prince of Shadow dagger? I assume I turned that in.
You turn that in, and you got the other item to replace it. Are you throwing the other item? Oh.
I'm throwing the other item into the sea then.
Okay. It will go into the water. Scott, what do you want to do when you go to town? Do you want to seek out your contact?
Yes, I am looking for her in the most subtle and sneaky way that I can.
Sure. You did very well for this before. Why don't you go ahead and make a spy master roll? I'll let you pick which stat.
Not going to go well.
Let you pick which stat you want to use to kind of define your approach style.
Probably
Charisma.
Charisma.
All right.
Just because, and more of a spy thing. Probably, disguise or whatever to do it subtly.
Okay.
Since I assume we're not going in the middle of the night.
I assume it's at least dusk. Yeah.
Okay.
But not at night.
So then, charisma. So there we go.
All right. So you will kind of track back. You know that she has kind of a network. You kind of picked up a little bit on that while you were here before. You'll find out that some people are like, oh, well, I know that she was involved with a ship that went out early this morning, but she's still here. And you will certainly be able to locate the tavern / office that she uses. Essentially, she has her lodgings and her workspace there.
Okay.
How do you?
I will case the place.
Okay.
Looking for traps, using my spy assassin. Looking. For
Let's have you make your wisdom plus spy assassin roll.
some potential murder hoboing. Plus 6 plus 5 plus 12. God damn it. When do we get our next stat raise?
Is that what you took your incremental for?
No.
Okay.
No, I took it for the skill point, which
Right.
always will
Yeah.
help me.
So you'll check out this place. It's a good spot. You read it as a good spot. Good exits. Nice ways to get out. There are 3 or 4 different ways that she could get out that you would definitely use. It looks like you would expect there to be, and you will spot a couple places where you would set up someone as kind of bodyguards, to do backup, to stay in the shadows, kind of things like that. It doesn't look like she has any of that. She definitely has a bodyguard there for staff, but none of the sort of the other heavy backup that you would expect.
Sort of smells like a trap, but well, when it gets late enough that one would expect the activity to quiet down some.
Okay.
My casing, I'll try to estimate what would be her room or where she would actually sleep.
You got a 20 before on this, so I'm going to say, combined with the original 18 roll, I'm going to say, yeah, you can do that.
Then if I haven't seen her leave, I will carefully, basically, either climb up or climb down, whatever the easier way to enter the window.
Okay.
And check it for traps. Be super stealthy and see if I can get a peek in the window to see if she is there.
It looks like she is working at her desk in there. The windows, of course, locked, as you would do with your sort of care and caution. Do you want to try and
quietly pick the lock or disarm if there's any traps?
Let's have you make
there.
that roll for me.
Oh God, I wish I had hero points in this game.
But you don't.
It sucks. This will be Dex, though, right?
Yes, it will be.
God damn it.
There is that thing where you hit it and you've got it, and it goes.
Is this a trick? Wait a minute. Oh, that wasn't a natural odd roll, though, was it?
Nope. But it makes more noise than you would expect. And you're like, oh, shit. And it does creak, and you will see her. She definitely looks up. She stays seated where she is, but keeps weapons, at hand, that kind of quiet, daggers fall into her hands kind of thing. And she does look scared.
Is the jig up at this point? Is there anything I can do?
You can either push forward or you can leave.
Then,
if you leave, you don't know what you're gonna.
I guess I'll push. I'll push forward. I can use. Well, it's not combat. So what did you say about using?
So essentially, you want to pop the window and use your elven rush to sort of come in like a shadow.
Yes.
All right, you will do that. Her eyes dart to there, and she actually looks like now she's less scared. And she will say, Rook. She keeps her weapons in her hands.
Ridar. Good evening. My weapons are in my hands too.
Oh, yeah.
I really only have one question. Did you know?
Rook, you're going to have to be more specific than that.
Did you know what would happen to Palak?
At this point, I should probably say, oh no, what has happened to Palak? But that would be disingenuous. I expected that something would happen. That's what I was told. That something would occur. And that the opportunity would present itself. And I was given my commands by our patron.
Your patron.
The Prince of Shadows, our patron. He gave me a message for you.
I'm interested in hearing what this message is.
The Prince of Shadows hopes that you are welcome for the castle that he has gifted you.
Ooh. Ooh. Where are the rest of the items that were in my castle?
Prince of Shadows has taken those as is his right. Are you here to murder me?
Well, that depended on what you had said. I'd really hoped that you were unaware of what had happened to Polak. I don't mind a little thievery, but Polak was from what little I knew him, was a good man. And he had one thing in his life that was good, and it was taken from him. So I kind of sympathize with him.
I had heard something of you, Rook, that you had perhaps more conscience and scruples than was particularly advantageous for an agent of the prince. But certainly he trusted you enough to provide you this matter and these rewards.
I was once a servant of whatever the name of the king of the elves was.
Right, the Blood King.
The Blood King. He used me as an instrument of murder, and I swore to someone that I would never be used that way again.
The prince has his reasons, and he looks to his plots and plans.
Unfortunately, that doesn't work for me. And I will move into striker.
Wait. Would you like to know who did this?
The agent of the siren?
Yes.
I'll be right back.
Sure.
I would. And what would be the price of this information?
The price is that you do not murder me, nor your companions murder me.
I cannot speak to them. One of them's an orc, and the other one's, well, they're certainly hard to control.
Well, let us say you do not murder
But
me.
I won't murder you, at least for now.
You do not murder me, and I will make the exit that is required. And I will say nothing to the prince about your hesitation. Or do I need to carry that message back? Is that what you wish?
You need to carry that message back. I'm not a tool for murder.
Back.
Very well, but if this information doesn't pan out...
It will pan out because I had to be involved with it. And when I heard you at the window, I feared that it was they who were coming and not you.
Yes, I was disappointed that you seemed less afraid.
Well, I knew I could talk to you and perhaps keep you from killing me. The others, I don't think so.
So who is it?
There is a man who is called Lord Dust. You may have already seen his handiwork. That was the impression I had.
Give the... the... Perhaps.
I know that he was involved with some foulness that went on at the Unconquered Port. And I will express, though I am a loyal agent of the Prince, that I was surprised that he would make a deal with Lord Dust. But he has wheels within wheels.
Now, who made the deal with Lord Dust? Hold on, I didn't...
The Prince.
Oh, okay. And the Unconquered Point was where the demons were?
Yes.
Okay. And the prison we busted the guy out of?
Lord Dust is an elf, and he once served the Surgeon Penitent, but then left that, and it's said that he followed the Ageless Hag and the Spirit King, learning from them. It's said that he has many secrets and magics that he has accumulated in his life. And he is dangerous and smart enough that he serves as an agent to both the Siren and the Leviathan. Both icons who are jealous in their possessions.
And he's on this island?
No, he is gone. He was gone some time ago, having set the things to work. It's my understanding that he set this up some time ago with Palak's mistress, Palak's wife. He plays a long game.
But he has agents still here?
Yes, it's my understanding that there was something else that was to happen there, but that, how do I put this? I think the prince expected that you would bring a stop to it and not allow the rest of it to continue. There are agents of the Siren present here who were displeased that the beasts that went into the tower were not able to bring them in as well. I should warn you that Lord Dust is a deadly foe. And when he fights someone, when he chooses a victim, he makes it personal. He hits them where it hurts. And it is said, and certainly when I spoke with him, it made me shiver, that he can kill your spirit. My soul quivered in his presence.
Well, then he'll never have to see me coming.
That's what I know.
All right.
Now we have a bargain. We are all set.
Yes. You're
Does-
safe for the moment.
Certainly. It does seem
Make
to
sure you
me
deliver the
that
message.
I will relay the message. It does seem a little ungrateful to me.
I had no particular desire for a place of my own. Certainly not at the cost of a good man's life or a good man who would have been invaluable to help against the Siren and the Leviathan.
If you turn your back,
Then so be it. I already have many people hunting after me. What's one more?
we'll find out.
Have a pleasant evening then. And I would leave the island as soon as you can.
I will do that. Matt!
Commence with your murdering.
Your inquisition.
There won't be any murdering. This is going to be very, very legalistic.
Awesome.
Legalistic means like the law. As the law, but just like it.
Emulating the law.
Okay, so
I am the law!
to
It's
start,
Judge Tomaso.
Tomaso does not relish what he has to do now.
Yeah,
But he
right.
unsheathes
Just
the
like
kit
Who's?
that of all the servants of the surgeon, only the Ordine del Bastore is authorized to use.
All right.
And he takes out the cruel hooks, the lengths of barbed wire, the blades, the pokers, and he ties them to
only
the
of
rope
items.
belt that he has around his robes. And he writes up his announcement of the Inquisition for the island. He begins with a statement of the surgeon's eternal love for all. The surgeon does not differentiate between the high elf and the kobold. The surgeon embraces the prince and the highwayman, but he will not tolerate those who consort with dark forces, those who truck with the undead or demons, destructive icons, and the things even worse still. And in accordance with the rules of the 13 Holy Orders, he is declaring a formal inquisition and declaring the grace period of 7 days for any of the guilty to come forward.
Awesome.
And he's writing this up on parchments and going around hammering them to posts around the city. And after
Let's
he's
say about the third post that you're hammering this in, you will see a couple of people approaching you. One guy's in a a leather apron, clearly a workman, and other guy looks like he maybe has a little thing wrapped around his arm that maybe is kind of city watch, and the other guy looks older, kind of salt and pepper beard, and he'll walk up and he'll say, "Oh yeah, hey there.
Greetings, my brothers.
I'm sort of the mayor here."
It's nice to meet you, Your Honor.
And are you the Tomaso that I saw on one of these bills of receipt that you've been putting up?
I am.
See now, this is we're kind of at how do you call it now? Maybe at cross purposes here, sir.
Oh, that would be most unfortunate.
You're corrupt. You're corrupt.
Can I get you to maybe explain it to me? Because we're not under any kind of bigger authority here.
Sir, all men live under the authority of the gods.
Oh, I understood the gods fell out of the skies. Right?
That does not mean you can disregard them.
Oh, I thought that's actually what it meant. And he kind of looks at the other guys, and they're nodding their heads. But the surgeon penitence...
Oh, here comes the murderer!
The surgeon penitence something different, I mean, right?
The surgeon reveres and reviles all the gods in their due measure.
You see him kind of parse that. Oh, that's one of them parables, isn't it?
You can consider it as such.
Well, maybe we could go sit down, and you could maybe explain to me exactly what this whole thing means.
I can explain it quite clearly now.
Oh, that'd be good. I didn't know how long it would take.
There's the natural, and there's the unnatural.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Okay.
They're the spirits of life,
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
and they're the spirits of death.
Okay.
My inquisition
Mm-hmm.
does not involve the laws of man.
Okay.
It involves the laws of the gods. So, I mean, this island is a pirate haven.
What?
I have no issue with pirates.
Okay.
Pirates are free to conduct their business. The pirates, the thieves, the prostitutes of no concern to me.
Well, that's good, because we do have a lot of prostitutes. and some
You
of them
look
are
like a
very
man who
nice
enjoys
people.
his prostitutes.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't judge. In fact, I could heal that infection that you have.
Yeah, actually. Well, anyway, we'll come back to
Don't tell
that.
my wife.
So wait, so you don't not hear about the thieves or the pirates or the prostitutes or any of that? Then who are you here for?
Those who consort with spirits, those who consort with worse.
Oh, you mean like magic users? Well, we got a hell of a one up on the hill. Palak, he's kind of a dick.
I
Is
don't
that
think
who
you have to worry about Palak for the time being.
Oh. And you actually will see them kind of look at each other. Oh, okay. If you've taken care of Palak, then what can we do for you?
I haven't taken care of him, but I am administering a temple that is set up on his property now.
Oh.
So I will be here for a while, and I am doing what a holy man must do when he makes his new home.
Start an inquisition?
What else would I do?
Maybe do some preaching or that kind of thing. That's what we're used to.
There will be much preaching at the Auto de Fe when the guilty burn.
So wait, I still don't understand who the guilty are.
I will determine that.
Wait. But they're not. If they're not people who are criminals, then who are they?
The Diabolists.
So people who truck with spirits, like shamans, or like just anybody that does magic, or what?
I'll be
People who play
specific.
Diablo 3.
If I was to find one devoted to Leviathan, for instance,
And he makes a sign gesture, warding off evil. Oh yeah,
he will burn.
Oh no,
Surely you cannot object to that.
Oh gosh, no! There are Leviathan lovers around here. Yeah, we'll get you a rope.
Really, do you know Leviathan lovers? I suggest.
No, I don't know any. I'm saying if you find any.
So you are one then.
Wait, no.
Confession is good for the soul.
Wait. If you're just going after like people who serve bad people, then I don't think we'll have any problem.
No,
I'm hoping.
I would hope not.
But this is all within reason, of course.
Within reason? This is absolute.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Huh.
We look for things that make us go.
The auto da fe occurs in 7 days.
Oh.
I invite you to attend so you can see the fruits of my labor.
All right. Well, we'll get ready for your auto da fe. And he'll kind of nod and bow and let you go about your hammering in of documents around town.
You gentlemen have made some wise decisions today.
There's grumbling and discussion and a lot of what the fuck as they make their way off. All right.
Making friends.
So-
Where we go.
So that happens. Coshanael, what about you?
Oh, she's got the yeast. Nothing could possibly go wrong here.
Hey, listen, I get the sense that Faylene was the one who worked out how to drop these wards, and she would have done it over time, and she probably, even if she was, if she was an accomplished wizard or sorcerer, it still would have taken her some time to work that out.
Yes.
However, I probably have the same set of skills, and my guess is that if I go about it going, this is where I would go, this is what I would do to start figuring it out, that I might be able to pick up on her trail, particularly where she would have started from, because that would have been when she was first pressured to it.
Okay.
See if I can find anything tracking that back through.
Okay. Why don't you make a roll based on your intelligence and your students?
Back.
I made a roll. I can't see it.
15.
96.
Oh. Why can't I? Okay. I
So-
want to roll better.
So what?
Wait, did I roll a 2?
Yes.
Did I seriously roll a 2?
Yes,
Oh,
you did. So.
I mean, sorry.
Yes, you rolled a 2. That's Sander told us to tell you.
Yes.
Um,
Oh, God.
Oh, Bonnie hates her.
So let
really-
me put it this way. So you can move on to another set of investigations or things you want to do.
Or, I, of course, have the awesome things from Grandfather Turtle. The rolls, could I use that for a reroll?
That's right. I want Sherry to come with us.
All right. Yeah. Sure. Okay.
Okay. And here's why I say that. Is
I'll let you. I'll
because-
use one of your. I'm going to use one of your checks. I'm going to use actually the siren thing since that's what you're battling against here.
Okay. All right. So I can reroll. Maybe I'll get a 3 this time.
Or a 1.
Oh,
12.
a 12.
Okay.
Crazy.
That
Plus
would be
10.
10 better.
Yeah, 10 better.
10
Nice.
better.
The signs are hard to find. They're hard to see. Less so maybe for you. There is a story that's here. A story of someone who perhaps how do I put this, had been somewhat abandoned, had been left to her own devices, had to occupy herself while her husband was sort of obsessionally working on things. And you can see sort of the signs and traces of that particular thing.
Mm-hmm.
And her work to figure out how to do this, done with real hesitation.
Okay.
Had Palak actually looked, had Palak actually paid attention, he would have seen these signs. It's not that she, put a secret thing. It's that in some ways it was kind of clearly a test for him that she was doing this. Not that was the reason she was doing it, but that she clearly set these things up in such a way that if Palak had spent any time or took real notice of what she was doing, it would have been obvious. Does that kind of answer your question on that point?
Yes. I mean, it does in the sense of that. Can I get... I guess in some ways then also... What was this pointing... As she does it, though, then, as I'm going through and seeing how she's working it, and it's pretty obvious and stuff...
Right.
Where is the weakness sort of pointing to? What's the signal that it's gone on? What's the, essentially, who is it broadcasting to when the wards fall?
It would clearly have broadcast out, and you expect that there was probably a secondary spell that was set up. Essentially, the summoning of those hydras was probably keyed to this. Whoever did this would have put them up as a held summon spell. Perhaps even that attack spell might have been a waiting thing.
Okay.
The thing that you will find, though, let me give you the sort of significant piece of information you'll get from that.
Okay.
When you're kind of checking through and you go back to where the harpies were, not harpies, the Medusa was what they were going.
And those blinded warriors.
The blinded warriors. When she was working at that, it looks to you, going through that stuff, like she was attempting to open a transit, to use the materials there to open some kind of gate.
Okay.
And so you suspect that the agents of the Siren that were in town were certainly waiting for that.
So everyone sort of had a chance to get themselves in place.
Yes.
And I mean, they were here before we got there and had been for a little while.
Right. So if, as Rook has said, the Prince of Shadows sent him here, then clearly there was some collusion on that point, and they had sent these people here waiting for Rook to come and trip that.
Okay. All right. There we go. Prince of Shadows further down on my list. That's not good for their survivability in the long run. Onward we go.
All right. Does that answer your questions?
That does answer my questions.
Okay. So, Carl, let's return to you and Ben. What do you want to do?
Okay, Ben, Cthock, I think I've got to know what we should do.
He's got a plan, an orc with a plan. Oh, God.
Need a fire! Need a big fire!
A
Far
wheelbarrow.
away from the sea wargs as possible.
Holocaust cloak.
Basically, yeah, that. So, can you sneak over someplace, a building, a ship, or whatever? Ship would be better, but building would be just as well. Get a fire going.
Fire going?
Get a fire going, and then just get a big fire going, and I need everybody looking at the fire.
Hey, I don't want to interrupt. Is my mic live right now?
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
All right, thanks.
And if anybody comes back, I need them to be not coming back, and with a big piece of wood in their back somewhere, maybe.
So, as I understand, let's break this down into the two parts, Carl.
Yeah.
We're gonna have Ben make a check or checks to create a distraction and keep their attention, while you get to make some checks to try and break out one or both of these groups of wargs, right?
Right. And actually, what I'm thinking of doing, well, first of all, I mean, with my experience with them, are these unknown wargs? I mean, how long would it take me to normally come up and be able to get a warg to not bite me?
It would normally take you a while.
Okay, so it's a lot longer than 5 minutes.
Well, but I mean, you're also rescuing them. There's also the smell of grandfather turtle on you.
Okay, what if I bring them a nice big piece of meat that used to whip them?
Back to the murdering.
Certainly, we could add that in as an element to your plan. So that would be 2 rolls, Carl. Does that seem reasonable?
Okay.
Okay. So here's how we're going to do it. If you're on board for this, Ben.
Yeah, are you on board? You got any ideas?
Well, do we have a lay of the maybe we should do some reconnaissance and just get a lay of this port.
Yeah, I'll say with your recon skill, you can easily kind of map out and get a sense of where the ships are and things like that. Why don't you just make a simple roll to make an assessment? How's that sound?
Right.
So let's do this as because you're going to be based on stealth. So let's do dexterity plus your recon. Ben, there's one of these ships that's being built that's up on land. That's a ways back away. It's clearly one of the newer ones to be under construction. It's far enough back that you have really good cover back there. If it starts to burn here, they're going to have to come quite a ways away from shore. And there's also the stores of oil right by there, of the lamp oil.
Perfect.
So yeah, you will. I'll give you a +5 bonus on your sort of fire starting. Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah.
Okay. So Ben, let's have you make. You have recon, and what's your other skill? Other backgrounds? Soldier? Okay.
Soldier, hunter, and troop leader.
Okay. Let's have you make a soldier roll, and let's do soldier plus intelligence for that. Intelligence or charisma, whichever one is better for you.
Okay, charisma.
Okay. And Carl, let's have you make a strength plus pirate roll. Nice roll, Ben.
Thank you.
Ben is on fire.
He is. Fire!
Now, do I get my level for this one?
Oh, yeah. Always get your level with your stat rolls.
One arrow in the orc's back, and it would all be over.
So the first part of this, Carl, is to wait, and you've watched for the guy who's clearly sort of the handler who goes out late, checks on the wargs, beats him a couple times with a stick, and you wait until he's heading back. And so at the same time, here's what happens is you kind of got the signal timed, and you will see it's not a small conflagration, Black Dog. It's a booming Bruckheimerian explosion.
I go, what the fuck is that guy doing?
As the
Holy
oil
shit.
stores go up and the ship catches fire and there's a fireball that lifts up and people will wake up and start running, and as Ben fades back,
Are they flung into the air like they just jumped off springboards?
Exactly, the ones that are by that.
Woo!
And
I know what you got. Oh no.
So you will see that, and you will rush up on this warg handler, and you just put your sword straight through him. There's nothing subtle about it. It comes out his front. He gets a simple gargle before he collapses.
The murdering.
And now you're going to take a portion of that to use to convince these wargs and to set them free. Is that right, Carl?
That is right.
Okay. So, Ben, you're going to try and kind of keep an eye on the distraction, make sure nobody spots Carl, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then let's have you make a simple. Let's do this as dexterity because you're stealthing around plus your recon skill.
We're going to come back to Coshanael. So how'd it go? Uneventful.
Yeah.
So you're keeping an eye. Okay, Carl, this is the big one. This is going to determine how many of these wargs you can get free in the time that you have before you need to bug out. Okay.
Okay.
So you're going to make charisma plus your level plus
Animal husbandry. Okay. What about my thief? No, I don't know if that works.
You'd rather have your animal. Do you want to use that instead of animal
No,
husbandry?
no. I was thinking both. Anyway, okay, +5. And my intelligence, it was my charisma. Oh, that'd be 0.
Okay. Plus your level. All right. The fire's going. People are coming down. Lots of things. You will get into the water. You will do the breaking off of the chains. I'm going to say you lose 1 recovery.
Okay.
Essentially, both between the water and between the bites that you get from the first ones. Before they get that. And I will say that you will get one of these full groups of wargs. You will get released.
If I lose another recovery, can I get the other group?
No, it's going to be you're going to have to come back for that.
So it's I can't do anything about it. It's the way it goes.
Unless you want to stay and you want to fight all these guys.
No.
I mean, it's up to you.
No.
But you will get one full group of them out, and they will clamber out, and they will take off. You have the sense that they may not go far. They may actually stay here and harass these guys.
They're not amphibious. Are you saying they're amphibious?
Oh yeah, these sea wargs are amphibious.
Oh, okay. I always got the okay.
Yeah,
okay.
no, they can swim. They can stay out at water for a time.
That's pretty cool.
Oh
okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking they would be completely water based. Okay.
No, they can go land or water, and they will go out into the water. The last one gives you a nuzzle as it heads off. Licks some of your blood so that it can remember the taste of that and heads out. And Ben, Cthock and Black Dog will disappear into the night, having caused horrendous destruction to this shipbuilding facility and having released these sea wargs out into the wild. Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's probably Coshanael, maybe like 4 or 5 in the morning when your cohorts return.
Mm-hmm.
You will see certainly that Rook looks his brow is furrowed and dark.
Okay.
And it definitely looks like it's very hard to tell, but it looks like Tomaso's kind of excited.
Okay.
Kind of a kid in a candy store.
Like something awesome's going to happen?
Yeah.
And it's sort of
He's
unpleasant.
funneling his hooks and pincers.
Oh no!
And when Black Dog and Cthock return, Cthock smells like smoke and burning, and
right.
Black Dog has bite marks and blood all over him.
Okay, well, I did find the magical soup pot, so I will make sure they have something warm to eat, and I'll try to get the story of what's going on so I can know just how much, I don't know, turmoil has been wrought in the last day or so.
All right. That is not a problem. You can pass that along, and you guys will spread those details. And,
Yes.
And I assume you guys will discuss about your plans. Probably taking on this group of siren agents in the town, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
That sounds necessary.
Well, does it seem okay to you guys if I were to stop here?
Yes.
And we will take up with that next week?
That sounds good.
Okay.
Did anybody look at my link?
No, I didn't look at your link
You
yet.
put a... Oh, what is this?
This isn't a grease the pole joke, is it?
Oh.
No, it's not.
Okay.
A good
See, I was about to do that. What's a secure site? So what does that mean?
Oh no, it's on YouTube.
Oh, it's YouTube. Okay.
What about a minute 30?
Oh, it's an
Okay.
explosion.
All
Awesome.
right. You can hear it through some people's speakers. Well, we're gonna.
You can save the links at the timestamps, Carl. So you don't have to say go to a minute 30. You can just send the link at a minute
Yeah,
30.
I'm clueless.
Yeah, you noob.
How do you do that? 'Cause,
All right.
I mean, wouldn't the
Game
So,
of Thrones.
Scott.
Yeah, I sent some Arthur Brown as a soundtrack to that scene.
See, we can see the whole archery thing. That starts at 113,
Okay.
so that's important. So we can appreciate Cthock's skills.
there you go.
Right.
I was just going to load up some A-Team videos where you see the guys flipping through the air at the least provocation.
So,
Hey,
Scott.
well,
yes. Oh, yes, Matt.
Before we break,
Sure.
question.
Absolutely.
Were we meant to send you write-ups about our spirits from last week?
No, you just.
or we-
We'll talk about the beginning of next session. How's that sound?
Okay.
Carl gave me some details on his, and we're still kind of figuring it out.
Yeah, mine is a purple ringworm.
Okay.
Oh God!
Oh man.
And when that spirit overcomes you, what thing that is normally antithetical to your personality or problematic for you occurs?
Oh, it torments me and plagues me with self-doubt.
No. With the negative.
It makes you really
Oh,
hungry.
Yeah, okay,
self-doubt.
self-doubt. Okay,
Self-doubt,
that seems
Oh, no,
reasonable.
that's a tapeworm.
It robs me of my usual religious certainty.
Okay, that seems good.
I like that.
Scott, two things. One is that because you hit champion again, if you want to, obviously, if you want to change Prince of Shadows to a negative or a conflicted, you can do that. And,
Okay.
And you're also welcome if you want to move one of those 2 points to a new icon. You can also do that.
Ooh.
So consider those options. And I will be replacing your blade next time.
Okay.
Okay,
That's fine.
for your heroic sacrifice there.
Did not know that if you anticipated my reactions.
That was no, I thought it could go either way there, but that was very good.
And I should have played my spirit up a little bit more in that encounter too, but
There was a lot of stuff going on in it.
right.
Right.
Because there would have been more of a she would have seen more of a conflict of that sort of, let me kill her, no.
I'm sure you were at war with yourself there over
Yes.
that. Well, thank you guys very much. I'm going to stop the recording, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
All right.
All right.